Good morning. How y'all doing? Uh, now, as you may have noticed, yes, the show is coming out on Wednesday. We decided to change a few things around. Um, so we're going to move my show back up to Wednesday. Those of you that have been watching long enough, you remember when it was on Wednesday before. But it's going to be moved up to Wednesday. Still going to be 30 minutes. Still going to be Casey's take. We're going to have a little commercial halfway through. I still don't have a sponsor, but we're working on that. Um, but nothing else is changing. Just when y'all get to watch Casey's take, it'll be on Wednesdays at noon now. So I guess I probably need to let all of my listeners know. Of course, I think I said something about it last week, but I also bought a little phone tripod thing so I could try to use my phone's camera because this is on my laptop webcam. And I mean, I'm not going to look good regardless, but either way, I've been trying to get some better video and I can't use my phone because for some reason the audio won't connect. And I mean, I have a Blue Yeti microphone and I'm going to continue to use that. I love my microphone. But then I went and got this. I pulled it out of the box before we got started today. I've been here. I'm at the office in Dixon, and I've been here for probably 5-10 minutes at most. I think 8 minutes is how long I actually walked in. 9:52 is when I walked in. It's 10 o'clock right now. It's also pre-recorded. It's no longer live. But so I've been here for over 5 minutes. I pulled this thing out. You can see I opened the box. I pulled this thing out. This thing's got more parts to it than a Mazda, and I don't want to mess with it. I didn't have 8 minutes, wasn't enough. I should have got here at 4 o'clock this morning if I thought I was going to get this thing going up first for a show. Oh, this is ridiculous. I ain't buying nothing else from Walmart. Is it made in China? Vietnam. Anyway, on to my next point. We will talk about sports today at some point whenever I get off my soapbox. We're going to talk NBA basketball. That's going to be our second take. Our first take is going to be about the Braves because y'all know how I am. The Braves are one of, if not the best team in baseball. I know the Rays are still like 40-0 or whatever, but we're going to talk Braves. We're going to talk NBA basketball, just a little bit of it because y'all know I don't know a lot. And then, of course, we always ended up with the high school sports. What's my third take? Oh, there was a fight. All right, boys and girls, here's what's going to happen. There was a fight in NASCAR. We're going to talk about NASCAR in general. I don't know who won last week. I don't know who's won any of the NASCAR races this year because I've told y'all before, ever since Dale Jr. retired, I don't really care for watching. And even before then, when his father passed at Daytona, since that point, I hadn't really cared about watching. And that was, 2001? I mean, that was over 20 years ago. But there was a fight, and I want to talk about NASCAR's reaction to the fight, not so much the fight. I don't even know. I know Noah Gragson was one of them. I can't even remember who the other guy was, but I've got some other things I wanted to bring up, so we're going to talk about that. High school sports, NASCAR fight, a little bit of basketball, but we're going to talk Braves. That's going to be the first take, so let's get into that. Also, like I said just a second ago, the show's now pre-recorded, which is good because I'm not going to be late anymore. I guess now I know, whenever we start it, we're just going. We got 30 minutes or so. I'm just going to sit here and blah, blah, blah my way through. It's been 4.5 minutes and I haven't said anything important yet. Now, my Mazda joke about parts and stuff, that was funny. I mean, they even got a LOL in the chat from Justin. It was funny, okay? But to begin, we're going to talk about the Atlanta Braves. And this is going to be probably the longest thing that I talk about today because, to be fair, the NBA playoffs and the NASCAR fight are just two things that are just on my mind that I just want to talk about a few things. So, this Braves take just now at 5 minutes. This Braves take is, I'm going to have to talk about this for a minute anyway because I got to fill up my 30 minutes. But I saw, I don't know who it belonged to. I think MLB put it out on Instagram or maybe they tweeted it. But apparently they had the top 5 MVP candidates for each league. The American League had, I think, Yordan Alvarez was Shohei Ohtani, of course, was first because I mean he's going to end up with over 200 strikeouts while pitching, and then he's going to hit 40 homers with 100 RBIs while hitting. So statistically, if the Angels are in the playoffs, and we've had this conversation before, if the Angels are in the playoffs, I don't see how Shohei Ohtani wouldn't be the MVP because of everything that he does do for his team. But he was on there. I think Trout was at 5. I was trying to think. It's got a few other names. Well, on the National League side, anyway, we're just going to pass through the American League. They call it a junior circuit for a reason. We're going to pass through the American League. The National League sorry, excuse me. The National League actually, in their 5, what do you call it? Candidates so far for early MVP race through 30 games. Y'all hear the train going by? In the National League, the top 2 candidates on this little post that I saw, one was Ronald Acuna Jr., which makes sense, and 2 was Sean Murphy. Now, if you're a Braves fan and you've been watching, and you watch as much or maybe even more than I do, because I don't get to watch all the games live. I don't get to watch any of the games live. I very rarely get to watch live games. I go back and watch highlights because I'm not paying $400 a month for Comcast or whatever. That's a different conversation. But so if you're a Braves fan and you've been watching, you know that Sean Murphy is insane. And I need to apologize. I got to apologize to Sean Murphy. I thought about this as the other day for something I needed to talk about, and I'm glad I just now thought about it. I have to apologize to Sean Murphy because I was upset when the Atlanta Braves traded away William Contreras. I thought the duo of William Contreras and Travis d'Arnaud I thought that was pretty good. And it was. It was. I mean, let's be honest, it was. Offensively last year, the Braves catchers had their stats together were almost as good on most ends as JT Realmuto through 162 game pace. So our catchers, and even better. So our catchers were, I say our, now I don't play, but y'all know who I am. The Braves catchers were really valuable last year. And I liked William Contreras. I thought I liked his flair for the game. I knew defensively he wasn't that great. Long story short, he's went over to Milwaukee. Milwaukee's figured out he had an issue with framing. They figured that out. I watched a short video on this. Milwaukee's got some sort of like a catcher school that they put people through, and it takes really good hitting catchers that can't defend, and they're not good at framing and all this other stuff. I'm sorry, I got something stuck in my throat. But they take these catchers and they turn them in, like overnight, they turn them into just like defensive Gold Glove catchers. Did the same thing with Jonathan Lucroy, Omar Narvaez, a few others. But I watched this video, and they figured this out with William Contreras. Like William Contreras, as far as catchers last year, was ranked. I want to say the video said 60th or 65th or something along the lines of that in defensive runs saved. Like I actually think he gave up more runs than he saved on defense, which for a catcher I think is pretty bad. I'm trying to remember exactly what all these numbers were. Long story short, William was bad defensively, and now all of his metrics and all of his numbers are showing that he's near the top. He may not be the best. He's not JT Realmuto, but he's close. And good for him. I'm glad William is having him a good little start, or a good little start to his career down in Milwaukee. But I loved William Contreras. So when the Braves traded him, and they gave up Shea Langoliers, who I really, really liked out of TCU or Baylor. He was out of one of those colleges in Texas. I want to say it was Baylor. Atlanta drafted him. I liked Shea Langoliers. I liked William Contreras. I thought both of them could, Langolier is a little bit more defensive. He could just go ahead and catch most of the time. Contreras could be the DH. I like the idea. But they were traded. Langoliers, along with a few others, out to Oakland and got Sean Murphy back. And then also, you'll have to excuse me, I just got an important text message. But then, of course, William Contreras got traded. He was a part of a 3-team trade that sent William Contreras off to Milwaukee. I was upset with it. In fact, y'all can go back and watch Casey's take from that week that we made that trade, and I probably sat here and cried and moaned and complained about it for, 5 minutes like I do every other take. I'm pretty sure I did too. I'm pretty sure I just sat here and just, y'all know what word I want to use, but I'm not going to use. I can't use it. But I was just really complaining and whining away. And by God, if Sean Murphy ain't the best catcher in all of baseball, I don't know who he is. I think Sean Murphy might be better than JT Realmuto. I think he, like honest, might be. He doesn't have the same foot speed. He's not going to steal bases. But defensively, he's pretty good. His arm's pretty good. He keeps people from running all around on the base pass. And offensively, that dude is crazy. His metrics are near the top of everything as far as exit velo, the bat coming off the ball, his ability to hit stuff other than fastballs. Like all of his metrics show up. I know his average is a hair low because he got off to a really, really bad start. Here's the thing. If you have a Gold Glove catcher that hits anywhere above 200, that's just, you're basically getting lucky at that point, right? And maybe I'm still stuck in the 90s with that, but I mean, I've always kind of just thought catchers, like, look, if you're doing a good job working with the pitchers and you're playing great defense, the offense is just like, added on, right? I mean, like, you don't even really expect offense. With a catcher, you want good defense. You want a guy that can handle the pitchers. That's what I've always thought a catcher was supposed to be. And, I remember being a kid and Javi Lopez hit 40 home runs one season, and I thought, oh, holy cow. And that was pretty good. And it's cool when you get offense out of catchers, and that's fine. But they don't, in my book, I've never really thought they had to be great offensive players. Sean Murphy's doing all of it. And I need to apologize to him because I was really upset about the Braves going out to get him. And he is statistically right now probably the Braves' second best player, at least offensively. I mean, he might be in general. I don't know if any of the pitchers can't stay healthy. That's the one bad thing. We got to get through it real quick. People just can't stay healthy. Iglesias just got back. Thank God. You can put him at the back of the bullpen. But Max Fried felt his forearm tighten. It felt bad the other day, so he's going to be on the IL until he feels better, is what I saw. That's what I read, and that just scares the crap out of me until he feels better. So I don't know how long he's going to be out. Kyle Wright, of course, he left the game the other day with a shoulder strain, I think. So he's going to be out for a while. Michael, it's not Mike anymore, it's Michael. Michael Soroka he's been making a few starts down in AAA and trying to get ready to come back. And he's close. But man, the only thing that can stop a really good roster and a really good organization is, some injuries. And you got to tip your cap to Bryce Elder. I mean, he's come up so far, and his ERA is under 3. He goes up there and he pitches 7 innings. Bryce Elder either goes like 3 innings and gives up 9 runs, or he pitches 7 or 8 innings, gives up 3 hits, no walks, and is just dominant. He throws a 90-mile-an-hour sinker that ends up halfway up in the zone, but it's on one side, and he gets in on people's hands. And I don't know how. It looks like he's still in batting practice, but these guys are just rolling over to the shortstop all day long. So Bryce Elder's been a pretty good pitcher most of the time. He's gonna have his really, really bad starts, but most of the time he's been really, really good for Atlanta. Michael Soroka is going to have to come back up eventually because nobody else can stay healthy. He never has been able to stay healthy. Let's see, Max. Max is going to be out for a while. Spencer's healthy. Charlie Morton started last night. I think he's like 53 years old now. That's a lie. He's 37, I think. But Charlie Morton is defying age, doing his best Tom Brady impression. He's going out there and pitching every day, or every 5 days, and he's doing a really good job. So if the Braves pitching can get healthy, the offense is nuts. Ozzie Albies, I think, is tied for the lead league in home runs, and the team lead in home runs, and nobody talks about him. Matt Olson hit a home run last night that still hadn't landed, and he didn't get talked about enough. Austin Riley's off to a terrible start. He's in like 240. Even his swing had a hitch in it like last week. It looked terrible. I mean, he looked like he was in really bad shape. The Braves are still 25-11. You're talking about Matt Olson and Austin Riley, two guys. Matt Olson's been hot. Austin Riley's had a pretty rough start to the season so far. You're talking about a possible MVP candidate who's hitting 240 and got like a few home runs and not really doing a whole lot. And the Braves are still 25-11 with injuries to the pitching staff. Now, I know it's not a video game and you can't turn off the injuries. There are always going to be bumps down the road. I get that. But, man, the Braves are just driving through. They're not going over bumps. They're just driving through the bumps. They don't care. Throw anything you want at them. Apparently, they're fine. And to be fair, the number one MVP candidate right now, Ronald Acuna Jr., is playing on he's on a completely different level. His exit velo, bat off ball, is on average harder now than it ever has been in his career. And that's insane to say out loud because he's already in the 99th percentile, if not the 100th percentile. He's hitting it average. He's hitting it harder than he ever has in his career, and he's always hit it hard. This year, instead of his batting average being around 270, 280, which it's still a pretty good batting average, he's hitting 350. The only reason he's not first in the batting race right now is because Luis Arias, the new second baseman for the Marlins, that cat might hit 400. And I like him. He's fun to watch. They got him from the Twins. If you haven't watched Luis Arias, I think that's how you say his first name. I may be wrong. But Arias, if you haven't watched Arias, he was in Minnesota last year. He's with the Marlins now. If you haven't watched him hit, he's like a throwback. He's like going back into a time machine and watching 80s or 90s. It's not Rod Carew. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that. But it's pretty close. and he is today's modern time Rod Carew. He's never going to hit more than like 10 home runs, but he gets the bat to the ball. He may hit 400. I'm not even kidding. But Ronald Acuna Jr. is hitting 350 with an insane amount of pop. He's also stealing bases. He's on pace to steal like over 80 bases, all while throwing everybody out from right field. Ronald Acuna Jr. is not going to Barry Bonds his way through this game. He's not gonna hit 70 homers every year. Ronald Acuna may just hit 30 home runs every year for the rest of his career. And I say just, that's a crazy number, but he might hit 30 home runs every year for the rest of his career. But what we're seeing from Ronald Acuna is the rest of his game developing. And not really developing, but just being able to show itself. Defensively, on the base pass, if he stays healthy and he stays motivated, because we know, I mean, we've seen him kind of, lollygag around the field, and you can talk one way or the other about all that. But if he stays motivated and he stays healthy, Ronald Acuna is one of, if not the best players in all of baseball. The Braves are hot in no small part because of him. Sean Murphy's nuts. He's been really good. Everybody else is doing great. It's been really fun to watch. But it's been 20 minutes. I talked about the Braves for like 15 minutes. I went on a rant. But we're going to go ahead and go into the second take. That's my fault. Before the show started, Justin asked me, he's like, do you want to do the videos in between the takes? I was like, yeah, sure. And so I thought we were doing it, and then I thought for a whole second we weren't doing it. So I started to talk, and then it comes up. That's my fault. Y'all can see, look, I got sleep in my eyes. I promise I've been up working this morning. I don't know why. I mean, I'm awake. But the second take, we're going to talk NBA playoffs. Now I've pulled up my phone here. I think it was NBA playoffs. It shouldn't be. And then the NASCAR fight was third. That's right. So I've pulled up the bracket. We're just going to go through the bracket real quick because to me, this is kind of like the blind leading the blind. And so we're all going to learn together here. Lakers up 3-1 on the Warriors. Denver up 3-2 on Phoenix. Joker, hey. Philadelphia up 3-2 on Boston. I watched a little bit of that game. Philadelphia was leading all night last night. And then Miami's up 3-1 on New York. I used to like New York. I'd like to see the Knicks. I'd like to see the Knicks. Miami. Yeah, I'd like to see the Knicks beat Miami, but I don't have a lot of faith. I don't think the Knicks are that good yet. I know that the last 2 years they've been a lot better than they had been like the 15, 20 years before that. But Miami they have a really good coach, Eric Spoelstra. I do know he's a really great coach. They got Jimmy Butler, who might be the illegitimate son of Michael Jordan. If you don't know that story, you need to go look that up. For those of you that know me, like personally, you know that I'm a conspiracy theorist. I talk about the craziest stuff off the top of my head. Well, as far as sports conspiracy theories, this is one of my favorite ones. And if any of you have, I don't know, next time you go use the bathroom and you've got 15 minutes to yourself, you're just going to sit there and scroll on your phone anyway. If you care, if you're a Michael Jordan fan or a Jimmy Butler fan, look this up. There's a conspiracy theory. It's just funny. I think it's weird that Jimmy Butler, his father, the conspiracy theory is that Michael Jordan is Jimmy Butler's biological father. They do share some similarities, but I'm not going to tell you the whole story because I've already wasted 20 minutes talking about baseball. So. But it is really entertaining if you're into conspiracy theories, especially sports stuff. Check it out. But, and of course, I said a little bit about the Philadelphia-Boston thing. I hate Boston teams, all of them. I don't mind the Celtics. Of course, I like their arena that they play in. And I like the colors. Larry Bird, I think everybody likes Larry Bird. I love Grant Williams, but there's just something about some of the players on their team and some of their history and other teams in Boston that I just hate. So I refuse to root for them, but I also hate Philadelphia teams. So I don't really care who wins there. Denver and Phoenix, that's weird because I really thought Phoenix was going to be able to run down Denver, but Nikola Jokic is playing really good basketball, so that's going to be tight. Here's what I wanted to talk about. Lakers, Golden State. Golden State was up 3-1 on LeBron, and LeBron came back and got him. Maybe this is Steph's revenge. Also, I saw a stat, and I don't even know if this is true or not. Steph is like 0 for 12 when shooting a three-pointer to take the lead in the final 10 seconds. For his career, he's like 0 for 12 shooting that three-pointer in the playoffs. That's pretty bad. You're going to be the best player of all time or going to be one of the best of all time? You got to be a little bit more clutch than that. And that stat may be completely wrong. I don't know. But we're going to talk about it next week. If Warriors come back and take that, that's going to be something we're going to talk about next week. But that's all I wanted to say for basketball playoffs. Now we all know. We all went through it together. We all know kind of what it looks like, the bracket right now. But I'm going to let y'all go watch a little commercial. Y'all come on back.
Tired of hanging lights every year? We get it. That's why Southern Nights is here to help. We install programmable lighting on your home or business so you can enjoy beautiful, customizable lighting all year round. No more ladders, tangled lights, or cold nights outside. We do the work, you do the celebrating. Call Southern Nights today and take the hassle out of holiday lighting forever. For a free quote, give us a call at 931-241-3074 or visit our Facebook page at Southern Nights.
Now, as promised, the third take is going to be me talking about this NASCAR fight that happened last week. Now, I looked it up on my phone. I knew one was Noah Gragson. The other one was Ross Chastain. And now here's what Google tells me on the front page. Exclusive, close look at the Chastain versus Gragson fight. That's on NASCAR.com. The next article is from Beyond the Flag, which sounds like, sort of some sort of flagship program for somebody where they write stories about NASCAR. Good for them. But this article, it says NASCAR announces decision on Ross Chastain and Noah Gragson. Now here's my whole thing with all this. NASCAR might come out with a decision. They might sit here and try to act like they have some sort of moral high ground. But I think it was Monday, as I was scrolling through my phone, just laying in bed whenever I woke up. And on NASCAR's Instagram account, there were at least 2 to 3 separate videos just pertaining to this fight, just showing the fight. Here's another angle. This is the caption. Here's another angle of the Gragson incident, or the Gragson and Chastain incident. And they showed 2 or 3 of these videos. This first article that pops up on Google is NASCAR.com. Exclusive, close look at the Chastain versus Gragson fight. They are broadcasting this fight. Now, here's the thing. Hockey does that too, but they just let everybody throw the gloves down and punch. Yeah, they let you fight. My problem is the next article, NASCAR announces decision. I don't know what the decision is. They better not have nothing to say. They're just sticking cameras up in front of people's faces and saying, hey, y'all swing. We love this. Apparently they love it because they're posting it on every social media that they got, and they're writing stories about it. They better not start complaining about any of them. They better not hand down no decision on nothing. You want a real decision? Then I was going to make a joke, but it didn't really sound right. Never mind. But I don't understand why NASCAR – I don't know why they're pushing this fight so hard. This video, I don't know why they're pushing it so hard. I've tried to watch part of it, and it got boring. I just started scrolling. But they better not have a decision because they've been posting this on front of everything. They know that this gets likes and comments, and it's clickbait. Good for them. But don't try to have more high ground and sit here and just show it off. I just took notice of that. But we're going to go ahead. We only got like a minute and a half to talk about high school sports. So we're going to go ahead and go to the fourth take. Fourth take, last take. High school sports. Like I said, I got a minute and a half. Dickson County won the district championship for baseball the other day. I think Cheatham County has a softball district championship Thursday night coming up for softball. The soccer district tournaments just started, and state qualifying sectional or state for track and field is just around the corner. We've got quite a few kids that have qualified for that. I'm hoping to have all the kids that qualified for state from track and field. In next week's issue, we're going to have the district tournament article in the Dickson Post for Dickson County High School. We're going to have all the information pertaining to Cheatham and Harpeth softball from this week because both of those teams are still playing. Harpeth lost last night. Their season is over. But Cheatham has a chance to win the district championship. I think that's tomorrow night. I think that's it. That's obviously not it. There's a lot of other stuff going on. Tennis is being played. I'm going to try and get to all that too. So that's not it, but that's about everything that I can think of right now, and that's everything I can get in because I've got 17 seconds left until 30 minutes. So sorry, y'all had to listen to Braves nonsense for 18 minutes, and then you only got, 35 seconds of me complaining about NASCAR and their fighting. But thank you for hanging out with me today, and y'all have a wonderful evening. We'll see you next week.